Wake that ass up.
Early in the morning.
The Breakfast Club.
Morning, everybody. It's DJ Envy, Angela Yee, Charlamagne the Guy. We are the Breakfast Club. We got a special guest in the building.
Yes, indeed.
Soul for real.
Soul for real.
Yo.
What's happening, my brothers?
What's up, fellas?
What's going on, Charlamagne?
Good.
Now talk to us. What happened to Soul for real? Where have y'all been? What's been going on?
What happened to Soul for real? I mean, honestly, everything happened to Soul for real. I mean, we've been, I'm going to keep it 100. We've been casualties of the industry as far as a transitional time. You know what I mean? When we came out, it was 95. So you got to remember that was before the internet really hit. You understand?
Before social media, all that stuff.
Exactly.
Yes,
You understand? So, of course, it's not only what happened to Soul for Real, it's what happened to R&B groups.
Okay.
You understand? Because right now the industry, if you really pay attention, there are no groups,
Right.
female or male. So I think we just became a casualty of that era.
But
How about your
start
guys'
from the-
relationships with each other, though? Was everything still strong as far as the four of you really
For the
getting
most
along?
part, we come a long way, been through a lot, but for the most part, like our relationship as brothers it's like more or less irremovable. Like that'll never change, even if we disagree at times and stuff or go through things.
Right. Like
Because of
Jason's
our-
doing his thing,
the
you know what I
way
mean? We encourage, like I encouraged that a long time ago, before Chris Brown, before everybody came out. I saw that, you understand, that there was a transition going on in the industry. So I was like, yo, Jace, you need to be doing your thing. It was kind of, waited a little bit. So it's like people might think that we're not on the same page or we at odds with each other, but it's, we're family. So brothers and sisters have that.
I feel like it's even harder than when people are, family and then also doing business together and then also around each other all the
It gets a
time.
little dicey
Have to agree.
sometimes, but
Have to agree.
Y'all real
family.
brothers?
Same mother, same father.
Really?
Yeah.
I never knew that. You know, people say, "Oh, we brothers." I didn't know y'all
Right.
real brothers in the
Nah,
flesh.
we spent too much time together.
So for people don't know, let's
we got,
start from the beginning.
life
Soul for real,
Okay.
you guys are from Long Island, New York.
Right.
sir.
And you created
Real
this group
era,
out of what?
and
Just
now-
singing all the time or what?
Well, we was on the streets and we just needed a change. So we just said we were on the streets. We needed a change. So we just pulled together because my brother Chalk he was doing his thing at a young age, and we moved to Florida and then came back and it was kind of hard for us just financially, and we were going through a lot of family problems, and we were just like, yo, we got to do something, and we just formed a group and.
Right, so
use what we knew how.
but to answer your question, yes, it was a lot of singing. We before we got to the street, my father is a bishop, my mother is a reverend, so we grew up
You
in
didn't
the
have a choice.
church,
You grew up in
right?
the church.
You know what I mean,
It
in
all
the church.
stems from-
Where
So who founded y'all? Who signed y'all?
Heavy D.
I know that, but let
Heavy
me
D
tell it.
signed us, right? But
I thought Andre Harrell found y'all though.
no.
Heavy
And,
brought us to Andre.
I just want to let y'all know this is just awesome. You know what I mean? That this opportunity. I mean, we've been seeing you. We've seen you like years ago.
fan of the show.
So it's like this opportunity to really kind of bridge the gap, because a lot of people know the song, but they haven't seen us, so they can't put a face with
The
the song.
songs.
Right.
The song.
Like Candy
Right.
Rain and everything little
Absolutely.
thing I do is classic records. Man.
That's right.
If you want it.
So where did Heavy D find you? On the street or?
Nah, so we're gonna let you know. When we were on the streets, like my brother was saying before, peddling nickel and diamond crack. You know what I mean? Mind dance,
Nickel and
slums.
diamond crack.
Yeah,
go right
yeah.
there.
Yeah, because we never made
real
it to
talk,
the
real
big. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like
the change was needed, like Dre said.
Right.
And we were well on our
Either dead or
way
in jail.
doing the music stuff. And we had David Turner. Shout out to Dave. He's still around.
right. So when I decided, I said, you know what? I'm not doing the street thing no more.
Right.
I decided to go work at McDonald's, and Dave was the manager at McDonald's. So one time, I was at McDonald's. I was washing the dishes. You know what I mean? I'm singing Boys to Men. Dave came up like, yo, you sound amazing. I was like, I'm not even the lead singer. You should hear me and my brothers. At the time, we had a corny ass name of the group, Da Fizz.
What's it called?
Da Fizz.
Da
And-
Fizz.
It
was
terrible.
It was the first two letters of our last name,
And the physical was short.
short for physically related.
Got you.
So
To
of
have
course,
to explain
after we
that
met
every time
Hev,
was-
you know what I mean? It was like Hev said, "Nah, that name is done." But let me rewind a little bit, because we were running around to the different labels, and we'd be standing outside singing. We never really got the opportunity to, just the normal way of going about getting a deal because everybody just was like, nah. So one day we were at Geffen Records, and Heavy D's brother's girlfriend was there. And while we were warming up in the lobby, she heard us and she was like, yo, you guys will be dope for this Mount Vernon Day. So it's a talent show that, basically showcases local talent.
Right.
So, of course, you already know I'm an elephant, my nigga. So look, she was like, yo, her name was Robin. She was like, yo, send the guys down. Now, mind you, she sent us right to Heavy D's house. You understand? Because at this time, Floyd and Hev, they lived together. Hev didn't move out yet or do anything like that. So it was like we found ourselves at 80, his address, 80 Bateman Place, his previous address. God bless Hev, you know what I mean? We're going to get into that. Yeah. But we were in his house, and we had no idea. We were looking around, seeing plaques and pictures and stuff. So, they told us sing. We sang all our original songs. So Hev just so happened to be home because, Hev dancing around, but he had a sprained ankle. You understand? So he's down in the basement. So Floyd was like, yo, we're going to bring you down and meet my brother. Still, we didn't have no idea who this was. You understand? So we kind of putting it together because we was really feeling the Blue Funk album at that time. You know what I mean? Like, oh, shit. We go downstairs. It's like, what the fuck? This is Hev. We actually see Hev. So Hev was like, don't be nervous. Go ahead and do the same thing y'all did for my brother. From there, it was like, yo, I'm going to introduce y'all to Andre. And then the magic seemed like it was taking forever. You understand? Because when you're on the street a week and we starving, we looking like, yo, when is it going to happen? It only took about a year. But that year seemed like it was forever. You understand? So Hev brought us to Andre. Andre basically gave Hev the proposition like, listen, if I could match whatever deal you have for them, you got to let them come with me. That's how we ended up being the last group on Uptown MCA.
So didn't Heavy take over for Andre at one point?
He did.
That was after the first project, though.
Oh.
See,
I remember that.
When we started the For Life project, which was our the entitled album cover for the second album, everything kind of just was like the opposite of the first. Hev and Andre kind of parted ways. Hev had a position with Universal, so Uptown got switched to Universal Records. And the difference between that album and the first one was there was absolutely no promotion. Things were like, we were just always questioning things that we knew it took to get us where we were from Heaven. We never got answers, from him personally. And like my brother said, may he rest in peace and stuff. But I think a lot of what happened with the whole situation with him might have stemmed from just things that, was like maybe should have been done with us. That was promised to us that we looked to him for.
Yeah, just, keep it in 100. I don't mean to
nah, you good.
chime in, but it was certain things like that. I mean, of course, the industry is finicky, so it's like I really hate that Hev passed without us, bonding that relationship,
fixing it.
You're right.
So you guys were mad at Hev and felt like
got
he
mad
was
at one
dirty.
point.
Of course, he could have took better care of us because we were babies.
So you felt like
course we were
Hev's
mad.
passing was karma for what he did to y'all?
That's what I was getting to, basically. In
I
a
don't
nutshell.
say that, man.
Yeah, I was
In a
gonna say,
nutshell.
I wouldn't say that. I wouldn't say
That's
it's
ugly. It's ugly.
Yeah.
Well, I'm not saying it to get the effect of it being like, like bitterness behind it. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I'm just saying it on something that it's based on my history as far as like times that I've reached out to him, Floyd, and there were plenty of opportunities that I felt that were given for us to just rekindle and pick up at a pace where he could have lived up to the things that we was expecting, but unfortunately it never got to happen. But we never really took it and held it as like something bitter. I still always have the love that I always had for Hev. Like I never at any point look at him, and I feel like I'm speaking for my brothers too. We always were looking for that moment to be like, yo, look, Hev, let's do this again. You know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah, but
the opportunity never came.
Being on both sides of the industry, you do realize, and it's effed up, but it's a business.
Yeah,
So
absolutely.
they look at things as today So For Real's popping, tomorrow is the
Somebody
next group.
else.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
So
right.
he's thinking about, I gave So For Real a hit. I put out an album. They're making money.
Yeah.
Now their next record ain't what it's supposed to be, maybe. Well, I got to go to the next one. I don't think it was nothing disrespectful. I think it was more like an assembly line.
I beg to differ. Hold on.
Yeah,
The reason why I beg to differ is this. So for real, we didn't come out. It wasn't like Have made us make hits. You understand? So just know that when you met the 4 street rats, and that you thought we was rappers. You know what I mean? We rugged street niggas. But when we opened, it was archangels singing, and we were singing our own original content. So for you to sit here and mind you, we didn't know the industry. We just knew that we could sing. We knew that we can do. We had what it takes to really be relevant in the industry. But because Hev and everybody else, they know the industry, it was like we didn't get the proper
They took your publishing.
Exactly.
They took your masters.
Right. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah.
at the end of the day, it's not business. If we sitting up here, we at the crib, we done had a bond. It's a camaraderie. We chilling at the crib. Like,
did y'all have a
How
manager?
many people does that happen to?
Everybody.
Look.
Especially in the 90s.
Our manager
Did you
was
guys have a
Floyd.
manager,
His
though?
brother was our
That's the
manager.
thing.
Every
It was so much
What
going
about a
on.
lawyer?
It
Did you
was
have a
a
lawyer?
straight up
Y'all
conflict.
didn't have a
of
lawyer
interest.
either?
Hab's lawyer was your lawyer.
There you go.
Straight up
It was so
conflict
much.
of interest.
You understand?
His brother was our manager.
His brother Floyd was
we
our
we
manager.
shared the same lawyers. We
Damn.
always were hearing that these things were conflict, but like I said, we never.
Y'all didn't know no better.
Exactly.
We didn't
I
hold
got
it
you.
to him. We always were looking for the
So
moment.
that's
that,
the reason why I said I beg to differ, because we're hit makers. We're workhorses. So you have to remember, regardless of what, in the hiatus that we had, we know that the ingredients that it takes to make hit records. You deal with different writers and different producers. You understand? But when we know we were blackballed after we bumped heads with Hev. Then it's like, yo, he's the big dog, and nobody is.
So you looked at
fucking
him
with
as
us.
a brother, and you felt like your brother should
There
have
you
held you down.
go.
Absolutely.
Did you guys
it's
have a-
still all business? You know what I'm saying? Like, it's the harsh truth, but like there's so many people that happens to, and like my brother said, we definitely, we definitely got over it to a certain point, but just keeping it real.
Who produced the first two, the big records, Candy Rain and
Trackmasters. Yeah,
Shout out to
Tony
Tony
Pope.
Pope. Yeah, shout out to Tony
But
Pope.
y'all wrote them though.
Actually,
we co-wrote.
you know
Okay.
what?
We didn't get
Chalk
credit.
is the one that came up with the whole idea of it, and then just like we were talking about, then have brought in all of the the writers and changed it up and took the publishing and did whatever he did and just flip, whoop, bam, bam. You know what I'm saying? So
Where does that stand now?
As far as it's like right now, and we were born and raised West Indian, with a West Indian upbringing. So you understand, it's like we rarely had, and we still have the knowledge. I can't even say the belief, because I know what goes up must come down. What go around, come around. You understand? So at the end of the day, I can't interfere.
You
with
went full West Indian just now.
Yeah, right. But that's the whole thing. I can't sit here and try to interfere with karma and say, "Oh, fuck you, I'm gonna do this." Nah, God is gonna take care of it.
Have you ever tried to
Understand?
get your publishing back though?
We've heard, it's a battle.
No is the answer to that. To
Right.
be honest,
It's a battle.
no. We've
Take
never.
money,
We
make
just
money.
kept things moving in stride. We got a lot going on right now that you
I mean,
guys
it's-
probably wouldn't believe.
Right.
But we came a long way to get where we are right now. Like there's things that we're doing on our own independently that is about to make a massive difference in all of our lives. And it's like long overdue, especially for us and the things that we've been through.
So
You know,
let's
like
hear
we got a movie called Truth, the story of Soul for Real. That should be out this summer. And
We have
we're working.
a Caribbean restaurant in Atlanta. Of course, that's where we're based right now. So
Naomi's, right?
yeah,
Yes.
Naomi's Caribbean cuisine. Looking for a second location. Basically, my idea for Naomi's, and if you guys feel me or try to feel me on this, any mall you go to, reputable mall, whether it be upscale, low scale, or airport, you never see Caribbean food. You
Not
always
at
see
all.
every
Shout out to
other.
Jerk Shack at Garden State Plaza.
Right, but but
she
that's
found
probably,
one.
Yeah,
that's
I was
the
excited
only
when
I was
they
just
had.
about to say.
That took a long time, though.
Yeah,
Exactly.
it took a lot for them
So
to get in there.
we look at all other cuisines, Japanese cuisine, Italian, Mexican. It's all commercially available everywhere you go. You don't have to go to the sketchy places, and that's what my Dre, we plugging it right here. This is the restaurant. We looking at our second location in Buckhead.
That's great. I'm from Brooklyn, so we got
Sweet.
You have a
Caribbean
plethora of those
restaurant
of restaurants
every
everywhere,
corner,
but
yeah.
down
And
in
Golden
Atlanta,
Golden Crest was always popping for
I don't
us.
trust the Caribbean restaurant if it's not sketchy.
yeah, but
It gotta be in the hood. I gotta feel a little danger when I go.
that's
I know, but
That's not true. It's not like that.
feel
and
it.
that's what we're trying to
It shouldn't
change,
be like
because
that.
right now I'm sure it's to me it's unfair. I'm sure the Caribbean is one of the most visited places. You understand? But why can't it be commercially available to everybody? You go to Phipps Plaza. You might go to what's the malls out here? The high-end malls.
Short Hills.
Right.
That, yeah.
You know,
but everybody loves Caribbean food. That's my favorite.
You shouldn't have to go to the hood to get that.
I was telling somebody that the other day. You go to any other community and you only see their own type of food.
Right.
You know, you go downtown to Italian area and you see Italian restaurants.
That's right.
But in our town, you see Chinese food restaurants in our neighborhood. You see pizza shops.
Well, now hold on, come to Brooklyn. That's not true because we definitely got a lot of Caribbean spots.
But you don't have. I don't think. But that's just in Brooklyn. But like if you go to Jersey, it's hard to find a Caribbean restaurant. Places in Queens, unless it's the hood, it's hard to find Caribbean restaurants.
It's always been like
so
that
it's definitely like they don't look at Caribbean restaurants like they look at Chinese food spots, which is in everywhere. Or Italian pizzerias, which is everywhere.
But I agree with you. Naomi's is my grandmother, so I feel like we've been when we came out in '95, it was like we always promised her the restaurant. So it took 20-something years, but
you finally got it.
Right. Yeah. And we're happy for that.
Now let's talk about the identity fraud issue.
Okay.
Yeah,
what was that about? It says 3 of y'all are indicted for identity fraud?
No.
I think Brian took the blame for everything.
I was going to say, look, I'm going to answer that and let everybody know that this is the actual first time that I'm speaking out about that. You understand? And it wasn't identity fraud. I was involved with some cats that really I had no idea what they were doing. You know what I mean? I was involved in a low level involvement with it, of course, in my search of trying to stay relevant and keep change in my pocket. So it's intoxicating to start making a lot of money. And we all know, I don't know if y'all know, but Atlanta was at the time like number one or second in mortgage fraud. You understand? So they said identity fraud, but it wasn't identity fraud. It was mortgage fraud, and I definitely I was the only one involved in it. I kept my mouth shut. And that's really why a lot of people, I kept families from going down. I'm an old school. I'm from New York, you know what I mean? And not everybody from New York know how to keep their mouth shut, but I'm old school. So I was involved in the manner that I was involved, and I saved a lot of families. So I just, I was implicated. I say, hey, you said I did it. Let me go do my time.
Were you the only person implicated, or were there other people?
No, there were other people. I mean, but it was like
only person in the group.
Right.
Okay.
I was just letting everybody know. I did 5 years. I've been
it turned into the media saying that it was the entire group.
Of course.
That's what I read. I read
guilty by association.
Right. And that really hurt my brothers too. I was like, when I was locked up, I was like, damn, I wish you guys don't do what we did with Hev. Don't not say nothing. You see, it's like we should have said something, even with Hev. You know what I mean? Maybe we would have gotten, a lot more looks from different people to be like, okay, you guys aren't washed up. Right. You understand? So I was trying to let them know while I was in there, like, use the light that they're shining on this situation to let everybody know, like, yo, nah, we're not all involved in this. B got caught up, and I got caught up. You understand? But at the end of the day, don't just
not say anything.
Exactly.
It's crazy because they didn't say anything about mortgage fraud. It made it seem like it was some type of bank fraud and identity theft and all these. And they said like 260 people were targeted.
That's Georgia. Georgia is a very penal state. You understand? And regardless of what they're gonna do, anything. The South. You're from the South, so it's
easy to get in trouble, hard to get out.
But we as black people, we walk around with a target on our back. So regardless of what, didn't have. We already know your freedom is based on your money. You understand? So it would not have even been that big. You understand? Had we had a boatloads of money, I probably wouldn't even been involved with these cats, had we have gotten our share fair. I was still searching to try and, maintain the life, of being satisfied, being, successful on my means, and that's just being able to provide for my family. I got 8 kids. At the time I had 6. You understand? So it's just really hard. You wake up and you're like, damn, we're not selling records no more. We never was getting royalties. You understand? So
we're talking shows though. Y'all do a lot of shows though. I see.
The shows kind of dried up, as you know, because it's like, that
was like our main source.
Because you hear Candy Rain at every party.
There you go.
Yeah. You hear Candy Rain on the radio all the time. Like I would think that y'all would still get shows.
Yeah, like we have been consistently working as far as shows and stuff like that, but over time it's like dwindled down. Like honestly, the past 2 years, like the shows have been kind of minimal, and that's partially because we haven't so much been pressing it how we normally do throughout time, but we have, like I was saying, a lot of other things that are going. Like I didn't finish mentioning them all, but you know, we're catering to our kids and the passing the torch down to our children who naturally have the same gift, and they have the passion as well. We just finished shooting some of the videos for our son's singles that we're about to drop, and along with that, I have a comedy show that I'm working on myself. You know, I'm just letting y'all know, like in the course of time, like there has been other things,
positive things
that we've been doing that is, you know, to be focused on, you know what I mean? And this is actually a blessing to be on this program with you guys too, because, you know,
yeah, y'all gonna have us lit just off of this. I don't even care if we was on here for 5 minutes. You understand? You gotta remember this is there you go. You understand? So I have 2 broke ribs. I'm gonna let y'all know right now.
Right, yeah, he just broke his
ribs.
broke
my ribs on Sunday. 2 broke ribs. I was roller skating with my nieces.
He thought
and
he
nephews.
was showing out. We went to Cascade.
we went to Cascade. I'm letting y'all know.
You thought you was at hot skates a little while.
Because when we was little, we used to be there.
Don't make him laugh. Y'all don't make him laugh.
Right. He thought he was showing out because when we was little, we used to show out.
Hold on, y'all making him hurt because he can't laugh right now.
I'm actually still nice on skates, and I don't think that would ever happen to me.
Yeah, but you know, it is. I was just letting y'all know. We definitely appreciate the opportunity of just being up here. Like I said before, this, you know, it helps us a great deal. We know our friends, and you know, people have been calling in trying to get us here, and finally it happened. So I salute y'all.
Let's talk about the record Candy Rain. It was #1 on the Billboard R&B charts. Did y'all know it was a hit when you recorded it?
Honestly, I could say no.
Yeah. Well, to me, I felt like everything we were doing had single potential, and I just didn't know which one they were going to choose because we knew we didn't have the choice as far as what song was going to come out first.
Right, but we didn't know that we didn't choose that. We wasn't even feeling that Candy Rain as the hottest song.
We were shocked that became
we
like
actually
the
said
single.
That we didn't want that song to be released as a single. Remember when they asked us?
And they said, "Okay, that's the song."
Said, which one do you guys want to
The
release?
one you don't like.
Right.
They picked the right one.
They picked that one.
They did.
Yeah, they picked the
Why
right
didn't
one.
you guys like it though as a single?
I liked every little thing the best. Of course, you know why? Because it was just lit.
I don't remember not liking the song. I liked it. I just wasn't sure of the choice, like what it was going to be, what the single was going to be, or how good it was going to do.
Yes, definitely.
Yeah,
it was like, you know, it was just way too bubblegum for me.
But if you listen to the content of it, it's absolutely opposite from bubblegum.
Oh yeah, that's R&B to me.
Right. And that's really, to me, I think that's what we lacked, you know, in that time where we kind of started just writing our own songs, our own music, and even I think I heard where you guys was like, nah, we wasn't really feeling this stuff. That's you're not gonna feel everything, you understand? But we know that it's a certain chemistry that it takes to make a hit record, and that's certain writers, certain producers. You understand? Also, you look at Beyonce, look at Chris Brown, all of these guys. They don't write all of their songs, so that's really what we lacked having. You understand? That strong, concrete manager. You understand? That strong, concrete lawyer. That's something we never had our whole career.
Right.
You understand? So
so doing music now, how has that changed for you guys?
Well, I mean, to me, we went out working with a lot of the producers and writers that we would like to be working with.
I saw y'all trying to get Chris Brown.
Well, I mean, he shouted us out in his song. So it's like, all right.
It's really like, what's up?
Does that look like something might happen?
That.
I mean, we would hope so.
Awesome.
I would love that.
I honestly would like all of this to, you know, play a role in it. You know what I mean? Because it would just be, I think that we deserve that. You know what I mean?
But to further answer your question about like the creative music process now for us is, me personally, and I could speak for all the guys too, we've evolved with time when it comes to the way we create and make music, but the factor and the element never changes in the formula when it comes to certain things in this business. You know what I mean? Like my brother mentioned, it's always all about collaborations, whether it's writing, doing the singing on the record, production, And these are the key things that always have the industry to where it is. You know what I'm saying? Certain things don't ever change.
Right.
Although it does
Protocol
evolve.
and procedure. That just doesn't change.
Right. When Hev passed, did y'all go to the funeral?
I was locked up.
I tried. I tried my best. That was another thing that was.
At my own funeral.
It was.
You said
it hurt me.
I'm not going to no more funerals.
Yeah, I don't do funerals either. I always say that. I'm not going to mine if I can help it.
Exactly.
But y'all just didn't want to go, or
Nah, that's something I tried to do. Like Bri was locked up at the time.
Yeah, I think the invitation was not there.
Right.
It
wasn't for
us. Reach out to Floyd and
offensive
family
to me
for years, but we don't get any phone calls back.
When did they stop returning y'all calls? At what point?
I guess the exact
After
moment.
the first album,
After the
really.
second album.
Yeah, no, it was after the first album because my memory is pretty on point when it comes to this because most of the time during the Candy Rain album and even the For Life album, we met Hev and we said we're all lead singers, but Hev had a different view for us. You know what I'm saying? So I was always on the outside looking in. I was forced to pay close attention. So the second single, this is what really happened, you understand? And Hev, the second single was Every Little Thing. Chalk did the lead on the second single. So Hev wanted to have Jace do the remix to Every Little Thing.
That was
and
big.
Chalk and Hev kind of went at odds with that. So Hev immediately was like, all right, fuck that. We about to just pull the plug on these niggas. You understand? They hard to work with. So automatically it was no more promotion. So the Every Little Thing just instantly, it went off of the momentum of Candy Rain by itself. So it literally, because we were contractually obligated, is the only reason why the second album came out. So it was like, all right, fuck it, we're gonna put y'all out, but we're not gonna promote y'all, we're not gonna do nothing.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying?
Did you guys
So
have a relationship with Diddy?
a very short relationship with Diddy, which I have a book. We're working on a movie, and I don't want to give everything, but yeah, we worked with Diddy. I believe that, like Diddy said to us before he had 112, because Diddy used to be at Uptown all the time. Yeah. So and when we just signed, Diddy was like, yo, he was telling us what he would do if he had us. You understand? And then 1996, we have 112. Everybody was like, yo, we heard your new song with Biggie, and was like, that's not us.
Right.
That's 112. You understand? So it is what it is. Shout out to Puff.
Andre? Andre didn't want to say, hey, man, why don't y'all come over here?
No, because Hev had dibs on us. So whatever, Hev had always had the dibs.
Even after his passing, though, there's just...
After his passing, like, everything from dealing with Andre to anyone who was ever affiliated from our past was like pulling teeth trying to reach out to those.
It's
old
called
resources.
being blackballed, man.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
I remember when we seen Andre Harrell in the club. And
he literally ran from us. Like we attacked him or something. Like and we would just come and say, "Hey, Dre, what's up, man?"
Before y'all come on to him, man, I know we got your.
I mean, he knows what he was thinking.
I might dip out.
We were just approaching the man.
What year was this?
This was like
this last year.
That's funny.
Y'all look like y'all carry hammers now. I don't mind him taking off.
He said, "I don't mind him taking off."
But we always been. I'm 6'6". Dre's 6'3", Chalk's 6'1". I mean, so even back then,
I'm 6'2".
It's like we're big. We're big guys. People used to always be like, "Oh man,
up,
you
big
guys
guy?
can play
Jace, why
sports."
didn't see your size, Jace?
Jace is the runt of the pack. You know what I mean? He's
The
big.
biggest guy.
Now, Jace, you did want to go solo. You did end up going solo, though.
I mean, I have the If You Feel Like Me joint. If you really know me, you know to go look for that. It's out there. You know what I mean? Just passing the time while I'm out living life. You know what I mean? My brother's locked up. Certain things. I started doing that 2010. You know what I mean? Chuck, we had a little inside. Something was happening back in the days. He was like, I'm going solo. You know
Chuck was going solo first.
Bro, I was locked up. And I was like, crickets. Well, what?
So when he said when he wanted to go solo, how was the family then?
Say again?
How was the family when he wanted to go solo? Were y'all cool or y'all was it beefing? It had to be a moment where y'all ain't talk to each other.
I think bro was locked up or something.
So you was locked up too?
No, I'm gonna tell you.
When Chalk tried to go solo. At the end of the day, I'm gonna tell y'all my standpoint, which I tell them now. I always tell them. That's why ain't nothing happened. with both of their shit whenever they go solo, because you wasn't meant to. The world's not feeling you on your solo shit, The world's feeling soul for real.
But I thought you said you wanted everybody to go solo.
I disagree.
I know, but I'm just saying.
It's all about.
It would have happened then, right?
I thought you thought it's.
I think
it would have happened.
I think that's a weird analogy.
It's like this. It's like,
just go check it out.
I'm gonna tap on it real quick.
What I should have done. I have a couple of tapes out there. How about that? Y'all just didn't know about the shit. There was no budget there for them to know about it. You know what I'm saying?
The first talks of ever going solo happened with me because of certain activities and where we were personally when it came to being dropped from the label. It seemed like our attention span was going everywhere, and I decided to myself, you know what? If everybody's not gonna stay focused on doing music and stuff, like I'm just gonna keep it up.
You Bobby Brown. You pulled the Bobby Brown.
You could call it that for our version.
I get it, because life moves on, right?
Yeah.
Like if brother in jail and y'all just sitting around, like
no, the jail wasn't yet for this part.
Okay.
When I decided to go solo, this was earlier, of us being released and actually off of Universal with the situation after the second album didn't do anything. And that started the first
wave.
Yeah, the first wave of anyone starting to say that they were going solo. Took Jace years after that to start even getting on that wave. Right. You know what I mean?
I'm a loyal
but I
guy,
never
man.
pursued it like that.
Dude, you know what I mean? Like,
it was just something I mentioned out of like feelings. I'm smart enough to realize that even in whatever efforts that may be out there of me trying to do anything by myself, I always know better. Like the mark we left off, for me to full throttledly like be my full potential, we'd have to pick up somewhat to what we left off the mark.
And ride off of that momentum.
Like exactly. And that's why you're not going to see anything of me going hard like that until after these moments right now that's occurring. And all the things that I mentioned that we have going on. Now is the time where you're going to see whatever individuality that we have to project.
How hard was it to adjust to life after all that success?
Say it again, sorry.
How hard was it to adjust to life after all that success? When you got to go back to just...
For me, it was hard and easy.
I guess civilian life, I guess. I don't know.
Right. Well, let me show... and my brothers could really attest to this. It probably was not really hard for me because I always knew that this was just a blessing and it wasn't ever guaranteed. Me and my brothers, we got in an argument, a big heated argument. We was in Washington, and I'm the second to youngest in the group. I said, guys, like there's certain things I saw that how we were really handling our career, and I was like, we're not guaranteed to be here next year. You understand? So we can't act like this is something that's, it's written. Mm-hmm. No, we have to maintain this with a level of professionalism, a level of, respect to our fans. You understand? We were drinking the same helium drinks that everybody drinks. You understand? At the end of the day, I understood that and knew that. So that's why it wasn't hard for me to really adjust, and it still isn't, because I know that also this is not forever. You understand? We came into this industry, we were given a blessing, a gift by God, and we maintain
gift and
that.
A curse.
You understand? I don't believe it's a curse. We just maintain that.
Have y'all's voices changed since when you first came out?
Definitely.
Of course.
Yeah.
I think
a little bit.
It's matured though, because
too.
I think right now I think I'm iller than I ever was because I have more control over my voice. But at the end of the day, I have no desire to do singing without my brothers.
Mm-hmm. Right.
When I met Hev, I said, "Yo, Hev." I know.
I do too. Jake's just here so he don't get fined.
Right. Jake been singing since he was in preschool. Right. But at the end of the day,
I said I support the cause. All of the solo stuff, I support it. Like
I do too.
To me, I'm just like, look, we all soul for real. You know what I'm saying? If Jace, you doing your thing, I'm the eyes behind you. Chalk, you doing your thing, I'm the eyes behind you. Like to me, that's a given. That's how it should be.
Mm-hmm. I just want to give a quick shout out to Mann Robinson, who's producing the movie called Truth, the story of Soul for Real.
What up, man?
And it should be coming out this summer.
Mm-hmm.
I just love how that
or
sounds.
Is it something independent?
It's independent. It's independent.
You almost got an ill story. I'm hearing this now, and I'm like, damn, this is an ill story. But
yeah, it's definitely just
it's what you guys need to hear. Like it's gonna answer. Like, see, what we're doing now is just answering some of the questions, but we're giving you guys a more in-depth insight about us and where we really our roots and who we really are. You know what I'm saying?
Right, the roots and culture.
It's gonna be one of the truest stories like that you ever watched, or when it comes down to like closest. To, you know what I mean? The truth.
Thank you guys
shout out
for
to
joining
me.
us, man. We look forward to hearing more.
So for real is clearly still around.
We appreciate y'all.
Yeah, we need to hear it.
Man,
The control voices.
Don't do it if y'all don't think y'all
No. This is
like,
nigga, please.
This is why I'm going solo.
Y'all want to listen? At the end of the day, that's what y'all have to start understanding.
This is off the Candy Rain album.
Do you want some Henny?
See, Jay's ready.
Look, hold on.
Not that one, they don't know it.
Not that yet, right?
Nah, they ain't ready for that.
Well, you better show us a video.
Nah.
Oh, okay.
Y'all can do something to know. Y'all can do something to know.
That's what I said.
The young kids and the old
this
heads
is what
know.
I was just letting them know. Like when people ask us to sing, don't sing something new that nobody knows.
Candy Rain.
That's right. That's what I was trying to
do.
let everybody know. Like
let's
you can't
hear
sing a
something.
song.
what you do.
My love.
Do you ever dream of candy coated raindrops? You're the same, my candy rain.
And it's 10 o'clock in the morning. No warm up.
I knew one of y'all was gonna jump in and
Who
do
from the
that.
90s can always still sing, bro? I don't know what nobody say.
All right, well, we appreciate you guys.
What's
It's
your
so for real.
Instagrams and all that stuff, man?
That's what's up. Our Instagram is The Real Soul For Real. Our Twitter is Soul For Real 1. And if you don't...
Jace, you want to give me yours, Jace?
Jace for real.
Yeah,
Jace, you want to give me
Not gonna do it for me.
Jace
Nah,
for
do it for me.
What you mean?
At Jace for real.
I want to give mine. Hold on.
I'll plug me for you, my bro.
Chop, you want to give yours, Chop?
Mine is Prover_Chalk on
We
Instagram.
plugging Naomi's Caribbean Cuisine too. Go in there.
How
That's
y'all
Soul
get the
For
name
Real
Soul
owns
For
that.
Real quick? Why did that?
Collectively,
With
we all,
Hev.
yeah, right, with Hev. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Because
It was-
honestly, man, Hev is like our brother. You know what I mean? And that's like one of my bros passing before we really fixed the relationship.
Yeah,
we
yeah,
was
yeah.
literally with Hev every day. You understand? All day. So he was like, y'all got to kill that Dotfish shit. That's over with. That's too popular. And he
It was
like,
dope how the name came up though, because
Right.
one of his boys, he was like, "Come on, let's see, like, what could we think of?" And one of them said, "Well, they got soul." And then another one said, "And they some real ass niggas." You know
Right.
what I mean? And then Hev was like, "That's it, soul for real."
Straight
And then they
up.
said it again, soul for real, and we all were looking around like, "Soul for real, wow."
Like Soul For
Run it.
Real?
Yeah,
Soul
Soul
For Real.
F-O-R.
Got you.
Like
And
these
that's-
niggas got soul for real.
From
Got you.
there was born.
And last but not least, shout out to Absolute Madness. It's a podcast TV show, Soul For Real. You can follow us at AMWSFR.
That's not last. Because also want to let y'all know, because I went to prison, I have a nonprofit called the SLAP Project, and it's an acronym for Successful Life After Prison. Now, basically with the restaurant, what I do is I hire convicted felons, of course, because just trying to cut down on the recidivism, and giving them an opportunity, because you come out of prison, you don't have an ability to get a job, you know what I'm saying? So whatever I could do to give back and allow, the restaurant's been open 2 years now, and we've hired 4 different people, I'm not federally bonded, so I can't go get, real killers working. I don't even think I would want them working at the restaurant just for, insurance and safety purposes. But we, everybody I've hired armed, they've had armed robbery, strong arm robbery. So basically, that I'm doing my little part.
People trying to change their lives.
Exactly.
Helping them out. All
And
right.
giving them that opportunity.
All right. Well, thank you
SLAP
guys.
Project.
It's Soul For Real.
Thank you guys
It's the
for having
Breakfast
us.
Thank you,
Club. Good
Breakfast
morning.
Club. We love y'all.
That's right.
Appreciate that.